Welcome back to the John Mendola Show here on WILK. Coming up on 10:14 in the morning, continuing the conversation as we talk local sports. And I got to talk with a couple of Abington Heights guys right now as we welcome in George Tinsley from Abington Heights. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, George. Let's talk about the big win for you guys last night in the state playoffs. How'd it go against Sun Valley?
It went pretty well. I mean, we knew coming out that Sun Valley is a really good team. And we knew we were going to have to bring the energy. And starting off out with a bang, Trey came out. I don't remember how many points he had, but he came out with really good energy. Just got us all into it, got the crowd into it. And it was a really good spark for us to kind of lead us through the whole game, and we were able to take that one away.
Win number 800 for Kenny Bianchi. Talk about what that feels like as players to accomplish that for your coach, a humble guy. And I don't think he cares a whole lot about those wins, but he cares right now about this season and what you guys are doing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think actually my first game was his 700th, so to be able to be a part of 700 and 800 is kind of crazy. I mean, he's built a legacy here, and honestly, I wouldn't want to play anywhere else. He's one of my main role models, and, it's just it's a crazy atmosphere around here, playing for him, and I don't really know how else to explain it, but I know he obviously doesn't show it as much as maybe some other people would, but he's really humble about it, and I don't know, I think that's what makes him the best.
Him and Coach McLean could go down as one of the best 1-2 punches ever as far as a coach and assistant coach. These guys know each other well, being on the same page. Talk about Coach McLean's role in this whole thing.
I mean, honestly, I don't see them ever being, without each other. They're just like perfect. The two of them, and they've got an answer for everything. And whether it's just kind of funny sometimes here and there, sarcastic remarks to each other, but it's all in love. And it's really hard to explain because the friendship they have is just something that some other people could just wish for. But I mean, they just have it.
George, take us through this weekend. At any point, you guys know, I'm sure coaches have mentioned, hey, we got to take this game serious. We can't look ahead. You guys had Mastery North earlier in the week. Tell us a little bit about how that game went for you guys.
That game was pretty crazy, actually. We had a pretty good, decent lead up at half, and then they came out with a bang, and I think they scored 14 straight points. They had us down 3, and then it was kind of just like a grudge match from there, I would say, and it was like back and forth, and we came out on top with a big shot from Jack.
Well, you guys are able to do it again, as you said, last night against Sun Valley. Let's talk about now not much rest here coming up with our next game, the semifinal. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm really excited. We played Archbishop Wood. We played them my sophomore year, actually, at the same exact place, so it's kind of cool to, play them again there, and they're a great team, and we know that we're going to have to come out, play defense, do our stuff, and we got to really hope that it goes well for us.
And you talk about the camaraderie that you guys have, and it just keeps growing. Obviously, it felt great from last year, but talk about you feel like you keep getting closer every game just on the way you guys are able to pull things out? Oh,
definitely. I mean, with the experience on this team, that's teaching the younger guys kind of like how to step up a little bit here in these situations, and I don't know, these guys are my family, it's kind of a phenomenal thing, we're all coming together here, we're real close. It's like I said, it's like a family.
When you talk about guys this year, a guy or two that you felt stepped up this year to really fill that role, and obviously losing the key player last year in Jackson, talk about a guy or two you felt that, has just really elevated their game this year for the Comets.
Definitely both of the Nealons. Jack was making huge shots this year. He's money from the free throw line, and he's playing really well. Drew, he's playing really good. He's coming off the bench sometimes, and he just knocks down big threes. He's taking charges. He's, I would say, probably one of our better defenders on the team. He locks people up, and I don't know. It's really impressive, the both of them.
Well, you guys will be headed down to Freedom in Bethlehem to play, and that's going to be a Monday nighter against Archbishop Wood. We appreciate your time, George. Jack's close by you, right? We're going to talk to Jack Nealon? Okay.
Yep,
all right, George, good luck Monday.
Thank you.
All right, George Tinsley, one of the captains here for the Abington Heights Comets on the John Mendola Show as we continue the conversation. Jack Nealon's going to join us right now. Jack, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, huge win for you guys last night. Let's talk about what you felt like the flow was there for the Comets to take down Sun Valley.
Well, obviously, right from the Greco, Trey came out on fire. I mean, he needed that because last game he knew he wasn't up to his standards, but he kept his head in the right spot and just came out with a chip on his shoulder, made some big buckets. And then obviously later on in the game, they started to make a push at us. We just needed a little spark, so that's what I just attempted to do.
Let's talk about that relationship with your brother and what that's like and being out there on the court.
Yeah, obviously it's a great feeling. Not many family members get to share this experience, so to be able to go through it with your brother and one of your best friends is something special.
Archbishop Wood is up next. How much do you guys look ahead? Because I'm sure coaches do their job. They got people scouting, but you guys got to stay focused on the task at hand. Now all the energy goes to them, but it's a 48-hour window between now and then.
Yeah, obviously you just want to take it one game at a time. Just got to practice hard. We'll watch some film today to prepare. But they're a very good team. I mean, any team coming out of the Philly Catholic League is going to have a lot of talent. So obviously our sophomore year, they got the better end of us. So we're just going to try to play up and just do our best to move and get one more game.
George had mentioned, he said you and your brother have been such a huge factor this year for your team. Talk about things you think you did with your brother on the off season, whether it's shooting around or just getting a little bit more serious. And I don't know how much more serious you can get when you guys win a state championship, but talk about the focus factor there for the Nealons.
Obviously, I mean, you got to take a lot of shots to play in these high-pressure games, but they got to be at game speed. So just getting that game speed mentality ready in the off season and just trying to get stronger. I mean, just trying to be in the weight room a lot, and that helps a lot with defense. And Drew's probably one of the best defenders in our league, in our district, and probably even the state. So, I mean, just trying to keep that focus and work as hard as you can every day and just to get better.
How about that credit back to George Tinsley? Talk about his leadership and his ability to play out there in clutch situations.
Yeah, I mean, George is the motor to this team. Everything runs around him. I mean, he brings everything he has every single game, and obviously he's one of the best players in the state, if not the best. I mean, Binghamton's getting a steal, I think, with him because he is a very, very good talent. So, I mean, he does a lot for his team, whether it be rebounding, points, assists, steals, block shots even. I mean, last night I think he only had 7 points, but two of the biggest plays of the game where he stepped up and took 2 charges. So, I mean, he can do it all.
A lot of life lessons with this whole experience being a student athlete at Abington Heights. Talk about something that really sticks out from Coach Bianchi getting his 800th win. What's things he preaches every single day? Seems like everything him and Coach McLean they do it the right way.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a very long time too. So I think before every game, Coach Bianchi always just tells us to play hard, play together, and have fun. I mean, that's his motto. If you can do those 3 things, I mean, the best outcome is going to come. And obviously it was very special to be a part of his 800th win. I mean, that is a lot of wins, especially at the high school level. So they definitely do it the right way. Coach McLean too, always preaching to us, just about trying to stay together as a family. And I heard George say it. This is more of a brotherhood to us. We treat each other like family.
All right. Well, hey, I want you to get back to practice. I don't want Coach Bianchi calling and yelling at me. I know you got a lot of work to do. Get going, Jack. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
All right. Jack Nealon there from the Abington Heights Comets. Those guys are in practice right now. And they got one of the biggest games of the year coming up. So Coach Bianchi will be sending me a text later. They got to get to work, and they've done it for last year with that state championship and what they're able to do this year. And Archbishop Wood, Monday, Freedom, 7:30 start. Should be pretty darn interesting. We come back here in the John Mendola Show, more high school basketball, some college baseball. We're going to talk some girls basketball, big win for Dunmore and Ben O'Brien. All that fun stuff coming up here on the John Mendola Show. Let's head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Jeremy Paczynski. Break like a good neighbor. Jeremy Paczynski is there. We'll be back on WILK.